Hello beautiful people, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluchi. On this channel I talk about cake business, I share tips and strategies, I talk about personal development, entrepreneurship, I do story time tutorials, vlogs, and I share recipes as well. And you're welcome. If you're stopping by for the first time, it's so amazing that you're here and we're happy to have you here. Please don't make it your last, and if you've always been here, my love to you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for always being here. Today we're talking about why your cakes are getting burnt. Okay, so I know that at one point or the other you must have experienced this in your baking career. If you have, just raise your hands or wave at me in the comments. Let me know if you've experienced having burnt cakes so far, or for as long as you've been baking, or if you've experienced this in your baking journey. You get what I'm saying? Let me know. Wave at me in the comments. For me, in the early days of my baking, when I newly acquired my oven, when I got a space, my studio space, and I bought my oven, I know that it was a thing for me that my cakes were getting burnt, and I was worried because you put cakes in the oven for them to get done for the usual time that I used to bake at home with my oven at home, and it will get burnt. In fact, the middle will not be done and the outside of the cakes will get burnt. So I was really wondering what's happened until I had to do something. So this is what we're talking about today, and if it's something you're interested in or you've been experiencing this and you don't just know what to do, please stick around. I'll be right back. And you're welcome back. So one of the first things I'll be talking about, like you always would hear when it comes to topics like this, is an imbalance in the recipe. It's having the wrong recipe. So it's like what we call concoction here in Nigeria. So if you put different things together, you don't have a balance in your recipe, trust me, that recipe will not get done. It would not come out the way it's supposed to. And because it's just struggling to get cooked, it's just struggling to be a cake, like a cake, you know, it's just struggling to get done, get baked. You will see different things happening to that cake. So one of the things, or one of the challenges that you can have, is that you will have a burnt cake. Of course, that would not be done. Okay, it's either it will not rise or it will be dense and it will be burnt, but definitely your cake will not come out the way looking the way it's supposed to. It's going to burn under because things are not just right from the beginning. So you want to ensure that you have the right recipe, you have a good recipe you're working with, you're not managing, you're not guessing, you're not just eyeballing flour, eyeballing eggs and just saying, oh, I'm going to look at it, this one should work and all of that. You have a workable, tested, trusted recipe that you can use to bake. If you're in doubt, you want to check some of my recipes that I have on my channel. They would help you, but I would strongly advise that you go to a professional cake school to learn how to bake before you launch your baking career. The second thing that would be wrong, or the second reason why you're having burnt cakes, is because your oven temperature is too high. So it is higher than it's supposed to be for your cakes to cook with. If your oven temperature is high, it will get burnt. First of all, your cakes will cook faster. First of all, your cakes will bake faster. Like, they're going to come out fast, no hassle. We love that. We love when our cakes, you know, come out quickly from the oven and everything. But it will not be done, and it would burn your cakes will get burnt because the fire, the heat obviously is too much for it. So it will not even circulate properly. Okay, it begins to burn from the under, burn from the sides. Before it gets done in the middle, the top is brown, the top is burnt, the bottom is burnt, ashy, and all of that. If you've experienced this before, let me know in the comments. I definitely have. Like I said in the beginning, when I got my new my oven newly. So what you want to do in this instance is to get yourself an oven thermometer. So that was what I did. I got myself an oven thermometer, and with that I was able to know the temperature of that I would bake with, or that I could bake with. So now I really don't regulate. I already know what I want to bake with. But if you're starting out and you're experiencing burnt cakes because you don't know the right oven temperature to work with, then you should invest in getting an oven thermometer that would help you determine the right temperature that you can work with or bake your cakes with. Okay, and if you're not too sure, or if you're not able to afford getting an oven temperature for now, you want to stick with baking with just the blue flames. I don't know what they call those particular flames, but the blue flames that are very cool, you want to bake with them. Your cakes will take longer, but over time you should be able to get an oven thermometer that you can work with. Place it in your oven, just place it right there in your oven, turn on the oven. So when you get to preheat your oven, this is how you use it. Okay, that's what I'm trying to explain. So you preheat, turn on your oven just before you're set to put your cakes inside. When you're preheating your oven, the oven temperature thermometer can withstand heat, so you just keep it inside. It will read the right temperature for you to bake with. So it will keep rising and rising and rising. So when it gets to that very particular point, then you can put your cakes in the oven. At least that's how we were doing it before we got a hang of it. So That's one thing you want to look at. So the third thing is wrong baking pans. You know that you have baking pans that are wrong. Do you know that it's possible for you to have baking pans that are the wrong set of baking pans? Okay, so if you have pans that have a thin metal, that are made of thin metal, if I can, I would insert a video of mine. There is one particular pan I had in those days. I still have that pan, but I don't use it anymore. Anytime I use it to bake my cakes, no matter what I do, my cakes would get burnt. My cakes would get roasted. So I stopped using that pan. I noticed that it was a certain kind of metal. Okay, if I hope that I can insert a clip for you so you see. So that pan, no matter what I do, if I use it to bake, my others will come out great, others will come out well, but that particular one will get burnt. So I had to stop using it. So you might want to check the pan that you're using. It also will transmit heat faster. If you're using a pan that is made of tin metal, it will transmit heat faster. That means your cakes will get done faster than they're supposed to. So mind the kind of cake pans you're buying, mind the kind of cake pans that you're investing in, so that your cakes will not get burnt when you use them to bake. And if you've been suspecting a particular pan, now it's time for you to check. I know I've talked about pans before, the kind of pans that you should use, especially if you're here in Nigeria. Please try and change your pans. Invest in better pans that will not make your cakes get burnt. So the next thing I'll be talking about is something that we do. It's a mistake. Sometimes we get carried away. Sometimes we don't even, maybe we get busy with other things and then we don't remember. But it is leaving your cakes in the oven for longer than you should. Okay, so we leave our cakes in the oven, get busy with other things, or forget. Sometimes you don't even know the times that you put the cake in the oven, and you leave it longer than you're supposed to. Probably, like I said, you're busy, you don't even remember that you have cakes in the oven and it gets burnt. Some of us I know have timers that are even inbuilt with the oven, so you can just set the timer and it will go off when it's ready or when you set it to. But for those of us whose ovens don't have timers, then you want to help yourself. Use a timer, get a timer, or write down. You can write it down. If you know that if you look at the time you will forget, you can write it down somewhere, maybe somewhere, and stick it just on the oven, so that you'll be able to tell, oh, it has stayed up to 30 minutes, it stayed up to 45 minutes, or it stayed up to 50 minutes, I should be getting ready to check my cakes and all of that. So don't get carried away when you put your cakes in the oven. Don't allow them stay for too long. Don't put your cakes in the oven and walk away, go away without checking it. Okay, so you need to check it so that it doesn't stay for longer than it should, because once it gets done, the next stage is overdoneness. The next stage after that is that your cakes will get burnt, and it just happens in snap. It happens really fast. So please don't leave your cakes in the oven for longer than you should. And I've explained the things that you can do to help you manage this situation. The fifth thing is having your oven racks close to the burner. So having your oven racks close to the source of the heat. Like for some people, the heat is from the top. For some, it's just from the bottom. For some, it's top. For some ovens, it's top and bottom. So you don't want to keep your racks too close to the roof of your oven or too close to the base of your oven, because the heat will definitely be too much and it will not circulate evenly, and your cakes will get burnt either from the top or from the base or from the sides. Okay, so make sure that you give some distance, you give some space before you arrange your racks in your oven. Okay, especially for those of us that bake with ovens that have to do with flames, that bake, not the electric ovens now. Okay, so if you're using gas, you definitely want to keep an eye on this. Arrange it not too close to the roof, and let it not be too close to the burner. Your cakes would burn. Okay, and you want to work with, like I mentioned in the past in some of my videos, use a bowl of water so that it steams and it cooks nicely for you. It can help to regulate the temperature of your oven, as well as steam your cakes when they're baking. Okay, so don't just put your racks too close because you really want them to get fast or something. This is something that you should know. So arrange your racks the way it should be, not too close to the base, not too close to the tops, and you would avoid having your cakes getting burnt. Now I want to talk about having too much batter in your pan. This is a no-no. Some people like their cakes really, really high. Some people like their cakes low. Myself, I like my cakes flat, even, say like 2 inches high or 2.5 inches high, max 3. But I really love to work with 2.5 inches high. But if you put too much cake into your batter because you want it to, I don't know why people do this anyway. It's a thing of personal preference. So some people bake and their layers are high. If your layers are high, most times before your cakes get done, it will take time. It will really take time to get done, and then two, it will start burning from the base because the top is not even done yet. So before it starts getting done all around and then in the center, cakes will most likely get burned. So don't overfill your pan. Please exercise patience. Some of us do this because we don't have enough pans to work with. I quite understand, but try and invest in getting another one, so at least you have two to bake with and you don't have to fill your pan so much and thereby get your cakes burnt in the process. So I believe that this video has been helpful and insightful. If you've watched up to this point, you're the real MVP. Please drop me some hearts in the comments, and also let me know how valuable you found this video. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're yet to like this video, please smash the like button right now. Smash the like button. And also, if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications as well so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Please, if you have questions as well, do not hesitate to drop them in the comments and I would answer to the best of my ability. Until I see you in the next video, stay happy, stay safe, and stay blessed.